Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Want to talk a lot of the ongoings in the PC gaming world right now. A lot of stuff going on. Obviously, this is more Nintendo related, but The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom came out, and while I do say it's Nintendo related, let's be honest, it's a little PC gaming related as well, as there's a little Switch emulator known as Yuzu. It's been playing this game for a little while now, and it looks like that the game is playing incredibly well. Want to talk all about it, and my vantage point of this situation, because there's obviously a lot of debate whether or not you should be emulating a game like Tears of the Kingdom, I should say. Alright, Switch emulator Yuzu. The Yuzu official Twitter account put out a tweet, hey listen, attention all, Tears of the Kingdom is playable in Yuzu, full speed on most hardware, experience in 4K or higher, no hacks needed, 60 frames per second, cheats, and more with mods. So, obviously, Tears of the Kingdom did get leaked online even ahead of its release. That was a huge, let's say, kerfuffle, to say the least. I'm sure, like, Nintendo was not all too pleased when everything like that was going on. I haven't played the game myself. I have the game. I bought the game. I actually bought the special edition, and I still have it sealed. When I do ultimately play the game, it will be via an emulator, but I do buy all of the Switch games that I want. Like, I have a ton of Switch games. I have Fire Emblem Engage, I have Fire Emblem Three Houses, I have Breath of the Wild. Like, I buy a lot of these games. Xenoblade Chronicles 1, 2, and 3, the definitive edition of 1, that is. Like, I buy a lot of Switch titles, but the Nintendo Switch itself is a platform that I very rarely use outside of when a lot of friends are over to play Smash, and I'll play games every now and again on there, but as many of you guys know, emulation, a Switch emulation is pretty far along, and it's pretty remarkable, the things that you can do, you know, playing games at higher frame rates, because the Switch, as great of a platform that it is, and Nintendo has a home run with the Switch, even though it's underpowered, it's got a bevy of games, the style that it is, you know, you can use it as a home console, you can use it as a portable device, a marriage of their success with the Nintendo DS, taking that with the home console, and after the abomination that was the Wii U, and ultimately, they went with the Switch. It's obviously an underpowered platform. It's well underpowered the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, but look at the absolute crushing sales numbers that it's pulling, and Nintendo just has so much cachet with its IPs that, you know, it's still gonna do really well. But if you have a high-end PC, and you see where Switch emulation is, you see how you can play games like a Breath of the Wild, like a Tears of the Kingdom, like Xenoblade Chronicles, etc., etc., you're probably going to gravitate towards playing the games via an emulator. I know not everybody is down with emulating games. It's a little bit of a hassle, although, you know, these days it's a fairly streamlined process. Like, I've been emulating since I got into PC gaming, and when I discovered emulation, like, I swear my jaw was on the floor, because at that point, like, the remaster craze didn't really take off, and especially not on PC. So when I first discovered PCSX2 and I was playing Final Fantasy X well before the remaster came out, I was playing games like Dot Hack well before the collection came out, and that was all readily available. I could increase the resolution. My mind was blown, and now you've seen that escalate to the point where you have a very capable Nintendo Switch emulator. You have a PS3 emulator that's becoming more and more capable. Emulation, in my opinion, is one of the drawing factors of PC gaming as a whole, especially when PS3 backwards compatibility is not a thing. And yes, I know that PS3 emulation is not a slam dunk home run as far as every game is concerned, but it's getting better and better, and I know that, you know, the Switch, you can do what you want with it, but even then, the Switch isn't playing every Wii game. It's not playing every GameCube game. You want to play Pokemon Coliseum? Good luck doing that on the Switch. It's not happening. But, yeah, like, PC emulation is such a great forefront. Now, in the case of the Switch, when you're making the argument, yo, these games are regularly coming out. Like, I say if you do enjoy the games that you're playing, maybe consider buying it. Like, that's what I would do. Like, I have a Switch. Actually, I have the Switch, I have the original model of the Switch, and I have the Switch OLED. You know, I have the Zelda Switch OLED because I'm that much of a shill. Nevertheless, you know, I'm still wanting to play these games on the PC just because they're gonna be better performance. You're gonna get so much more out of the gameplay experiences itself. And I'm not even here hating on 30 FPS. I saw some comparisons people making about like Redfall and Zelda. Oh, Redfall's getting all this hate, but Zelda's not getting. Bro, people aren't hating on Redfall just because of the performance. And a $500 box in the Xbox Series X performing at 30 frames per second on a pretty mediocre looking game is gonna have a different set of expectations than how Tears of the Kingdom is playing on legitimately almost like, what, 7-year-old hardware or something like that? Like, the Switch is an old console at this stage of the game, so the expectations are gonna be different, and guess what? Game quality is game quality. Tears of the Kingdom is probably way more worth your $70 than Redfall. Yes, Redfall's on Game Pass, but you guys get the idea. But it's a remarkable feat that this is just happening, and I just see, like, shock. I'm hearing shock from people that I'm telling people about this storage, even though that this has been, you know, Tears of the Kingdom has been playable for a while on PC with everything that happened, and, you know, my friends that are super casuals, when I tell them that this game is playable at 60 FPS with the emulator, they're like, bro, what? This is, like, Switch emulation is that far along? And I feel like this is some of the biggest exposure that Switch emulation has gotten since it's been a thing. Yuzu has gotten since it's been a thing, just because Tears of the Kingdom is such a hotly anticipated game. I believe at this point, like, early numbers are indicating it's the best-selling game of 2023 thus far, which is shocking to me since I thought Hogwarts Legacy was going to have a stranglehold on that number, but all we have so far is physical sales numbers. We still need to wait for digital sales numbers, which I think Hogwarts Legacy certainly outpaced Tears of the Kingdom on, but that's an entirely different topic. But it's pretty remarkable, and, you know, the game is getting straight 10 out of 10s. I'm not gonna lie, like, Breath of the Wild is a game that I was enamored with for quite a while, and that's my story with Nintendo games as a whole. Like, I really want to enjoy Nintendo titles, but the ones I enjoy are usually like the Xenoblade Chronicles and the Fire Emblems of the world that necessarily don't get 10 out of 10s across the board. The Zeldas, the Marios, not gonna lie, they don't do a lot. Like, I can appreciate the games, but I'm like, sometimes I play them, I'm like, yo, these are really cool games. I don't know if they're a 10 out of 10. That's how I felt about Breath of the Wild. I'm still gonna play Tears of the Kingdom, of course, and I'm super excited to play it, and I'm hoping that, you know, the experience is gonna be quite good, and I'm still just, like, completely floored when we see progress like this from an emulation standpoint, and, you know, I understand why Nintendo can get frustrated with it, especially in this scenario where people were legitimately playing the game, like, a week before release, which is, like, you know, kind of hilarious to me, and, you know, like, at this point, the game's got, like, a 96 on Metacritic or something like that. They're gonna sell enough copies of Tears of the Kingdom. I don't think anybody's gonna need to be like, oh, no, Nintendo, woe is them. Like, nah, that's not, like, there's no issue there. Nintendo's gonna make a ton of money. They're legit still selling this console, like, 7 years after release and doing very well with it, and, yeah, they're making money hand over fist, especially with their first-party releases. It's just, I would really like to see a new Nintendo platform that's a little bit more powerful. I don't expect it to be PS5, Xbox Series level, but you can get something a little bit more powerful. But they kind of have their own area where they're at, and the thing about the Switch that it has over the other two consoles is, like, if you buy an Xbox Series and a PlayStation 5, chances are you're not gonna buy the other one. If you buy an Xbox Series, chances are you're probably not gonna buy a PS5 because there's so much crossover in the games available. That can even be said for if you have a high-end gaming PC, and let's say you're not into emulation, you're probably not gonna buy a PS5 or Xbox Series. PS5 maybe if there's an exclusive that really draws you in, but all Xbox games are on PC. In the case of the Switch is kind of its own entity in that it has this bevy of Nintendo releases that, you know, offer their own experience that are different, and I think that's an area where Nintendo really shines. You ain't getting a Mario Kart on PlayStation. You ain't getting a Zelda on PlayStation. It's its own distinct experience, and I think that makes the Switch a very attractive complementary platform to your PCs, your Xboxes, and your PlayStations. That's a very powerful thing, and a powerful element I think people do take for granted when it comes to the Switch. Obviously, with PC, if you do have a PC, you can make the argument that emulation is available, but I do know that emulation is still something that not a lot of people want to utilize, and I get that, just because, you know, it doesn't streamline the process as much as, say, buying a game from Steam and downloading, but it's relatively simple these days, and there's guides up the wazoo. So, yeah, incredible news. I don't know, like, I know a lot of people are very much in that, middle ground when it comes to emulation, especially Switch emulation. Look, I'm buying all these games. I'll probably try out Tears of the Kingdom on my Nintendo Switch just to see how it is, and maybe I'll play it on there for a little bit, but if the 30 FPS gets too much for me, like 60 FPS to me is really what I like to gravitate towards. Like, when I play games on the PlayStation 5, ain't no way. If there's a 60 FPS option, I'm playing at 60 FPS, and if there isn't a 60 FPS option, well, that's just a bummer. And hopefully most games have 60 FPS options. They got it on Playtale Requiem recently, and hopefully they'll get it on everything going forward. But did want to talk about this incredible news story as far as this. Emulation has been one of the key sellers in PC gaming as a whole. Like, game preservation is an incredible thing, and, with the PlayStation 5 not even offering PS3, PS2 backwards compatibility, it's something that's very powerful. And then even if you look at Steam, like the games that Steam has, you ain't playing Deus Ex Human Revolution on your PlayStation 5, you ain't playing Portal 2 on your PlayStation 5, you just have this legacy of games that unfortunately it's just not as readily accessible, but PC really gives you that, with emulation just extending that even more. But that's going to do it for me. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, thanks for watching. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.